Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to you. Hope you're doing well, hope you've had a good week. You may have been watching a lot of the videos on the channel. You may have watched the odd or one or two, or this might be the first video you've watched all week. As you can see, I still haven't cut my hair, it's getting very long, but I've got next week off and I should be able to do it there. So first of all, thank you to everyone that's been watching the videos. It does help with the YouTube algorithm when it calculates watch time to promote the channel and grow, because as you know, or I've mentioned a few times before, there's so many thousands of channels springing up and giving up every day that any support you lend me is great. It's all about sustained activity, and there's quite a few videos on the channel, so I hope you've had a chance to watch them and easing your stress, because that's the main thing of the channel. Now, as I say, thank you to all the subscribers on here, and I'm particularly thankful to members. If you're unfamiliar with that, it's a way of making donations each month if you like what you see, to help it continue and support it, because it does get a bit precarious every now and again as I try and keep this thing running. Now, it was a few months ago I took on, must be like September last year, I took on part-time work at a supermarket to try and bolster this a little bit to keep it going. So the channel is gradually growing in momentum and revenue that way. I thought this might happen, and now I'm in the process of trying to get a second job, but I don't want it to upset this. Rather than going full-time and this suffering, I want to bolt another part-time job on it, because it's not ideal at the moment, and that could help me a little bit. So I've been looking at early morning work, which I don't know what that involved, maybe cleaning or something else rather than late night, because evening work would knock out the live streams, and that'd be pointless me doing that, because live stream is where the action is at. So at the moment I'm looking for a second part-time job, but thank you for your support as well, just letting you know where things are going. But either way, the channel will continue. It'll always continue. Thank you for the donations, the Ko-Fi that have happened there, either in the stream or outside it. I tend to give a thank you for the Ko-Fis on Twitter, if you follow my Twitter stream as well. If you don't want your name mentioned, if you've done a Ko-Fi, just put that in the message, and I won't do if you want their privacy there. All the money from that and the super chats I've been putting to one side to try and get a second monitor for the live streams. I've already got two monitors that I use in the live streams. One is high res, the other one is a low res screen, and I position certain windows there during the stream. One is the stream stats, one is the actual emulation itself, if you use emulation. On that we've got the chat box there, and also the streaming software, and it's all a little bit cluttered, so I can't see as much as the chat window as I would like, and sometimes I miss a bit. So I want to get a second higher res screen, not as expensive as my first one. I think they're fractionally over about £100 there, a 1920 1080p, and I think that'll be enough, and then I can see more of the chat and won't miss so many of the alerts. I seem to catch most of them, but I miss a few of them every now and again, so I'm quite close to getting that second monitor. So thank you for your support there. Without the support, that wouldn't have happened at all. And I will say a thank you to all the members in a moment. There's a few new ones there as well, so thank you. So yeah, I mean, I've mentioned a little bit about the games we covered this week. I tend to cover about 6 games. Next week I've got next week off, so I might put the odd bonus one in, I do not know. So yeah, I hope you've been enjoying those. I think my favourite one's been a bit of a mixture, but my favourite ones have been the ZX Spectrum Homebrew, was Gloop Troops, the Lost Crown. Previously looked at Gloop Troops before, but this one is an additional by a Little Shop of Pixels. And I understand, I've been told that the 3 great games in a row, Crimbo as well, I understand that the author passed away, and that's why there wasn't any other ones of them. But this game makes fantastic use of colour, and that really impressed me. It's rather reminiscent of Bubble Bobble, the way it plays, which is another classic game. But the graphics around the border, the way the thing moves, the gentleness of the game. There's no music in there, but it doesn't really need it to a great deal, and I was really impressed by that one. So Gloop Troops, The Lost Crown, check out that review if you haven't already, and the original Gloop Troops and Crimbo we did around Christmas. All 3 similar games, but make great use of colour. And the other game I liked this week, which is a standout game on the Nintendo 64. I'm always a sucker for racers, but I really loved Beetle Adventure Racing. What I liked about it, really, it was in 1999, and around about that time I was addicted to a game called Need for Speed 3 Hot Pursuit on the PlayStation 1, also by Electronic Arts, as Beetle Adventure Racing was, and it plays very, very similar, almost to the fact that it could be levels actually within that game. You only control Beetle cars, but there's a few unlockables as well. You don't really notice that, they can be any cars really. Really long laps, which I'm a big fan of, just like Need for Speed 3 was. And I do like the dinosaur track as well. It's a big long review, that one, so check that one out. Have a look at that one if you haven't already. Really good. I've been really impressed with the Nintendo 64 races going through them. I try and mix it about a bit on that system. I seem to keep reviewing racing games, whether it be Destruction Derby 64, which is another good one, and the cruising games are pretty good as well. Cruising World, Cruising USA and Cruising Exotica. They play very arcadey, those three. Beetle Adventure Racing, the car seems a bit more heavy in the handling, which I prefer ever so slightly, but all of those are fantastic games, so thank you. My least favourite one would have to be Joe Blade on the Commodore Amiga. It's a game that originally came out in 8-bit land, doesn't fare so well in 16-bit. I think if you're going to release it, a few games are a bit like this, I think if you're going to release it in 16-bit, you should have really put a lot of effort into it, put a few extra whistles and rewritten it ever so slightly and made it magical. This one is a bit of a lazy port, lazy conversion, doesn't do too much, so in the end of the day you think, well, the Spectrum was pushing it, the Amiga is not pushing it whatsoever. The gap should have been a lot different. And as I say, we'll come to hopefully come to the sequel quite soon. Now, as you noticed, the more observant of you, I haven't gone for a walk for the last couple of weeks. It's not illegal to go for a walk if it's close by you, which my walk is. It's just that it's a bit dubious that if you're carrying a camera with you, it could be deemed as work. And I mentioned this before. And like a vlog, I said, like I'm doing a vlog, said, well, you can do a vlog at home, a bit like this. Why risk going out? Now the chances of being caught when I'm actually out are remote, but it only takes one person, maybe watching this video, passing by, to say, look, Nick, he was out filming, that's illegal. He says something to someone else, that gets reported. And the stupid decision gets made, and then I suddenly find, I don't know, £1,000 of something stupid. I can't afford £1,000. As you notice, I'm chipping away gradually to afford a second monitor that's actually over £100 or whatever. A £200 fine, £1,000 fine, I can't possibly do. Now, it's stupid, isn't it? But there's fines flying around everywhere. I don't know if you heard about recently. Now, this I agree with this particular fine, although it does seem very, very high. There was a news story in the week. It's been snowing in a lot of the country in the UK. And this story comes from Leeds, that two people organised a mass snowball fight in Hyde Park in Leeds. I think hundreds of people turned up for that. Obviously, the police got a tip-off or noticed it, and the two people that were organised it were fined, get this, were fined £10,000 each. So a £10,000 fine for arranging a mass snowball fight. Now I thought that was quite bad, but apparently these organisers before have been warned about other things with the lockdown, so maybe it's justified. Yorkshire Police got onto that one quite quickly, and you know, it annoys me a little bit because the reason why lockdown's been going on so long is people not obeying the rules, thinking they're above the rules, and arranging a mass snowball fight with hundreds of people. That just goes to show you. Also as well, you can only defend to a certain amount of time, people keeping their distance, because these things, although people are wearing their masks, it doesn't apply to supermarkets. So you get there, you'll see, although they shouldn't be, you'll get crowd of people and the rules seem to be forgotten. So if you work at a supermarket, a bit like myself, you are a bit vulnerable. But that's all the point of being the key workers. It's not up there with the NHS, which I respect massively, but you do put yourself in a little bit of danger. So you have to remember, not just if you're doing that elsewhere, keep sanitising your hands every time you touch something. I'm on the bus, pressing the button which other people might have pressed. I have to wash my hands, and I'm washing my hands a lot every day because we've got to confine this thing, no matter where you are in the world, and get through it. I didn't think 2021 was going to start off quite like this. I thought we've got the vaccine and it's sold, but in the UK there's been a few mutations. We're locking down people travelling here from certain countries, but I think we're in a bit of a bad way. Let's get these vaccines out and try and get through it. The schools, as Boris Johnson ruled, aren't going to be open until March, so it's all about distance learning over the laptops and that sort of thing, and you worry about the kids that are from poorer backgrounds who struggle to get the equipment or bad internet, and they're going to get left behind. So 2020 was a year to maybe forget. 2021, I think we're just going to have the wreckage of that and then get a gradually recovery. So getting through this year again, it's gradually going to get better and better. And I think 2022 is when maybe normality is going through, or hopefully in the second half of this year, maybe. So there we go. I hope you are well there. Always stay safe, always be sensible. If you are going out a lot, as soon as you get back, wash your hands and sanitise and all that sort of stuff. And, you know, I'm here to try and cheer you up. The games will keep coming. I've been meaning to do more live streams, but I've been running out of time each bit with energy levels and what I can do. Because the last thing you want is someone doing a live stream a bit like, oh, it's the next game, it's the next game. Yeah, see, that's the other one. Then you want someone uppity, up. Yeah, I was planning to start the blundering last week, but I sort of like ran out of time with other things that are going on. I've got next week off, so you know I should be able to get a little bit ahead of the schedule. So we should be able to do the 3 streams, which would be ZX Spectrum, Commodore Amiga, and the blundering, which is supposed to be brutal football. So it should be okay there. Get a bit ahead, and that'll carry on for next week. So thank you. So that's pretty much what's been happening to me this time, and I hope you haven't been in a mass snowball fight. So thank you again to the members of the channel. If you don't know what membership is, click on the join button. There's a short video by some guy in a hat telling you roughly what it's about. It's a hat a little bit like this. You're not clicking on that button doesn't join you straight away. You have to do a few other things before it commits you. So you know, if you want to watch that video and have a look, it starts from just $1.99 a month, which will help me out a great deal if you won't miss it at all. And then there's a second tier and third tier. Anyone on the second tier, I will shout out your name unless you don't want me to in the videos quite like this. And any projects you're doing or any sites you want me to advertise, I can shout that out as well. Just one of you have taken advantage of the shout outs there. I know a few of you did previous weeks. If you want me to keep shouting it out each time, then let me know, or just give me a new message there. So big shout out first of all to everyone on the second tier. So huge thank you there. That's really making the difference, to be honest with you. So thank you. Big thank you to Squidworth. Thank you. You're a new member or just recently upgraded. So thank you, Squidworth. Stuart Laycock, Greyholt 2. Natty Nicky, thank you. Claire Johnson, I know a lot of you are in the chat box quite regularly in the live streams, and we've got a real good community gradually growing there, so it's real nice to see. James O'Grady, John Roby and Jeffrey Searby, so thank you everyone. Steve Norman, a great chap, as well as Lemmy, all of you are good chaps really. Steve Q, who does the occasional Ko-Fi there, thank you. Phil Hill, Rossi Bossy, who's working away on his racing game, which will soon be going to a quick starter, which hopefully I'll be doing some vocals for. Chono Baggy, Jason Holmes and Andrew Gibson, so thank you everyone there. You know, I'm grateful for the second tier and the first tier, everyone, whatever you can do to help me, thank you. And massive thanks to everyone on the top tier. You know, you've gone above and beyond really, so excellent. So it's Martin Reimel, Richard Mitten, Tom, thank you, Graham Vebke, my friend in Australia. I hope everything's not too hectic for you at the moment, Graham. Always nice to hear from you. And Julie Monkton. Now, there's always a shout out for Julie, which I have written down. It's the same site as last time, but well worth visiting again. I've got some other notes here on my Twitter thing. I've got the link written down this time, so that's okay. So the link is for Julie's site, myoldtoybox.weebly.com. That's myoldtoybox.weebly.com. I think there were some other things I had to say about this site because I don't want to miss anything out, because any shout outs I want to give them the maximum there. So let's have a look what else is here. Now the site is now complete with board games and model cars, etc. There we go. I think there's some artistic photos on there as well. Oh, this might be a separate project from the live streams where Julie, they're quite artistic these. Julie takes, I think it's like a crystal ball or some sort of glass ornament, and then there's pictures from the stream reflected through that. It looks quite nice, and then it's a bit cryptic because you have to try and guess what the game is a lot of the time. So check out Julie's site. I'll say it again, myoldtoybox.weebly.com. So yeah, thank you for watching the videos. It will continue. If you're a member on the channel, you have access to the members section. You'll know what videos are going up next week, and I tend to update it every Sunday for the week going forward. So it gives you the opportunity, if you want to be a big clever clogs, you can play the games before they actually come up on the review and say a bit extra there as well. So I try and keep a bit of a mixture there to keep you going. Sometimes find a hidden gem, find a lot of stinkers as well along the way. So thanks again. Have a good weekend. Have a good evening as well. I'm working this weekend. As I say, I'm looking for a second part-time job, so I've got a few things, on a few things, so I'll get my CV submitted to those and see what happens. They might think I'm overqualified, but anyway, what can you do? You know, compared to the job, what's this overqualified business? But anyway, till next time, take great care of yourself, and are very fond. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye, E.
And Jenkin.